What do you got?
What's the difference between Ethereum and then Ethereum Classic? Because I've seen it before.
So there was a fork of Ethereum to where a couple of years ago there was this thing called the DAO, which is like digital. I forget what it stands for, but so there was this smart contract, which is one of the things that Ethereum is made for. That was going to be enacted on the blockchain, I guess, and it was like, I don't know how to put it. I don't know if it was a scam or if it was hacked or what, but basically hundreds, thousands of people's ether was taken from them because of this like faulty smart contract, or it was a scam or something.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Ethereum community was like, because you're not supposed to be able to change the blockchain, right? Like that's the thing about the blockchain, is like if a transaction happens, it is not reversible.
Mm-hmm.
So there are no refunds when it comes to Ether, unless somebody chooses to send it back to you. So they were like, okay, they rolled back the ledger or the blockchain, which a lot of people disagreed with because of like the philosophy of the blockchain is that you're not supposed to change it no matter what happens, but they did, and that's what created Ethereum Classic. So I guess Ethereum Classic is the old Ethereum blockchain that has this, I don't know if it still has the vulnerability that made the DAO hack. I guess it was a hack because they called it the DAO hack. You can research the DAO hack. That's what created Ethereum Classic. But my homie Crypto, who's got the YouTube channel, he says that Ethereum Classic is a good investment, or that there's a lot of opportunity with it. I'm not sure what the price is right now.
It's $10.
So that's pretty low, considering that Ether is at 300. So I might actually get some Ethereum Classic, because I mean, shit. Think about if that goes to just like $1,000.
That's like
you
what?
got a bunch of them. So, yeah, going back to your question, like, if you want to get into it, then just like research Ethereum and like get some of that.
Yeah. Because like,
that's the safest thing.
They have Bitcoin.
What will be the progression to see Ethereum Classic getting more valuable? Like you just said, invest in. Like, why would you? What will be your precaution steps? Like, what articles would have to come out? What things would have to happen?
Like I said, I would follow like all their social media. Like any project that you're interested in, you're like, oh. Like
no, but just Ether Classic.
I would just, I don't know a lot about it. I still need to research it, but it's just adoption, number one. Like if you see like, oh, Ethereum Classic is going to be accepted at Best Buy, you're like, oh shit, okay, it's popping off, you know. And then if you're like, oh, this project. This new project is going to be built on top of Ethereum Classic. Like those are the things you want to look for. That's why I say that Ethereum, the main Ethereum, I guess, is the best, because it's like
you hear
every day there's new news coming out, and like they have something called the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance. Microsoft is on it. All kinds of corporations.
JP
so
Morgan.
it's like,
Yes, I'll JP.
yeah. So. You just want to look for positive news, man. Like if you look at a cryptocurrency and like there's really nothing going on with it, and it's just kind of like there, like maybe Litecoin, for example. It's just kind of like a copy of Bitcoin, but worth much less at this
People aren't
time.
building off it, just like you said with Ethereum. A lot of people
like,
are building off Ethereum.
Like there's raw cryptocurrencies that don't really do anything.
Like
which
Bitcoin is kind of
like Bitcoin. And like there's a lot of kind of like copies
and it's slow,
of Bitcoin.
right? It's like slow transaction, Bitcoin.
Yeah, but I mean dude, like Dash, when I first got into crypto, Dash was less than $100, now it's $300, I think it went up to like $400 at one point, but Dash has a really good community. That's the other thing you want to look for is community, which I already talked about. It's like, it takes a lot of research because you kind of got to dig in, you got to research
you got to
people.
research all of them.
Yeah, you got to see what their project is about. You got to listen to their YouTube channel, all that shit.
What do you mean by that? Like the project? Like what's behind all these cryptocurrencies?
Everything.
like the goal that they're working towards. Like if you see a company that's like popping up new stuff, like okay, so like Bitcoin, the first project to like make money off from Bitcoin being a thing was like some exchange that, you know, let people exchange Bitcoin faster, because before it was like it took like a week and like couple days for you to actually like receive your Bitcoin, where then like this one company stepped in and then it was like, okay, we're gonna make this process a little quicker. So it was like some website, and they like made millions off of it just from helping the transaction of making Bitcoin faster. And then you have like what he was talking about, the alliances, where like the Ethereum Alliance Enterprise or Corporation, whatever it's called. It's like, you know, they're building stuff on more than just the actual name of Bitcoin or Ethereum. Like,
It's just a project before I was telling you about in-game where you can.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering about. Like,
So that's like one project out of like an alternate YouTube, just a bunch of projects.
okay.
Yeah.
So it's like you could use these certain cryptocurrencies for like certain things. What you're
So-
saying.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking through like this the app that you told us about, the Bitcoin checker, and like this goes down forever. Like there's so many
Yeah,
different
there's thousands.
cryptocurrencies. Like
But I think, like he was saying all those currencies are building their theories and structure based off Ether.
yeah, a lot of them are just copycats, because that's what you get when something starts
Some
popping
popping,
off.
you want to make your own.
Like everybody knows,
Litecoin.
everybody knows
Yeah.
Bitcoin, so then everybody's like, oh, if Bitcoin's doing this, maybe we can make a little bit of money off of doing the same exact thing, but maybe just a little bit better, or
Yeah.
maybe just a little bit different.
That's why you gotta do your research. But like, I'll give you some examples. I've been telling them about this, like Singular DTV is like, not even just a YouTube, but like YouTube and Netflix based on Ethereum. So like, there's this thing called ERC20 tokens, which are tokens that are based on Ethereum. So like, singles are ERC20 tokens, and so is OMG. So I think Singular DTV is dope. It's like, they're making moves. They're sponsoring. It's almost like a record label and a TV conglomerate on Ethereum. So like they're fully funding like movies, full on movies and musicians based on like the blockchain and Ethereum.
So you wouldn't
It's
be
dope.
directly buying Singular DTV. You're buying Ethereum to buy that.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then yeah. And so like that's what I do. If you go on Coinbase.com and you buy Ethereum.
I think
So
too.
is there like no way of buying like say if I wanted to buy Singular DTV, do I have to buy Ethereum?
Well, you could
Well, different
invest
coins,
in
right?
a stock, but that's like a whole different.
You could do
thing.
some other like tricky bullshit, like get USD tether. So I think that there's some crypto that's like directly linked to the US dollar, and then you could like buy that with your US dollar and then buy that. Like you don't need it,
There's like different coins for
because
stuff.
you want to be buying Ether anyways.
Yeah.
So you want to go on Coinbase and buy some Ether. Like say you went on Coinbase and you bought one Ether for $300. You could take $50 of that, like 0.2 or whatever it would be, and then buy some singles tokens with it.
I think Ether is pretty big because a lot of people are building projects. So you got to think a project is not consistent of one person. It's consistent of a lot of people putting in money, time, and energy into that. So if Ether does, it's not hope for the best or worse, but it's a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot already of time and energy actually put into it for like that system like fail. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because there's so many Ethereums right now. Like I just looked it up. There's like Ethereum Gold,
Yeah.
Ethereum Dark.
see?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
just fake ones.
I haven't researched any of that Ethereum Gold or Ethereum Dark or any of that crap. Like Bitcoin Gold just came out. Like Bitcoin has forked multiple times.
What do you mean by that? Like,
So they actually copy the blockchain and create a whole new cryptocurrency that's maybe not a direct copy, but they'll like change one thing. And like the Bitcoin community has actually become very toxic, which is another reason that I'm not into Bitcoin. Like they've been arguing with each other, and since there's so much value in it now, it's just like,
It's too much money.
Then you get those new people that come on and just for the money,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
business,
Yeah.
because that's what you get when you get that big. It's just like you get all these people that don't even know about the technology, but just are in it for the money.
They don't
just
think about the
want
future.
profit,
They don't
yeah.
think about the future or nothing like that.
because you
Okay.
think about the miners. Like the miners don't want smaller transaction fees; they want bigger transaction fees. So they're not going to support a fork that's going to have less transaction fees because then they're going to get less money.
And you said Ethereum's working towards not even having miners.
Ethereum is going to move to proof of stake instead of proof of work. So mining is proof of work, and then Ethereum is going to move to proof of stake, which is like you're gonna say like, okay, I have 40 Ether. I'll go ahead and lock it up in this account or whatever, and then you'll get I think little transaction fees or whatever, and that's how the ledger is going to get verified, I guess. I mean,
I gotta look into it.
it gets so technical that I need to research more.
So then who do you have like doing the computing process? You have
I guess the people that are staking, I don't know exactly. But as far as I know, I might be wrong, but I don't think actually like verifying the blockchain takes that much computing power. Maybe I don't think it does.
So when you're looking up like research on these projects, what are you looking up? Like, are you just looking up the name and then you
No,
look up
you're
the name?
looking into like the company, you're looking into the people, you're looking into how they're gonna do it. You kind of like, it's same with stocks, dude. You gotta like believe in that. You can't just buy stock and then hope it's gonna rise up. You gotta like research the team, like the company, like the future, like
where do you think it's going?
yeah, man.
Well,
the future, the competitors, like who's gonna take off better than this?
Yeah,
Who's got a
exactly.
better, you know?
So this is basically just a game of stocks, just electronically a whole different. It's like stocks, but not stocks.
It's stocks, but currency.
Yeah, like
It's
actual
currency.
money.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think?
So you know how you like have a currency like between different countries, and like how you can make money just because like China, let's say like China has like some disaster and their money drops like $20. So you buy a whole bunch and then they regain their whatever, and then it goes back up, so you make money.
Oh yeah, people even make profit off of crypto trading between exchanges. It's called arbitrage because like Ethereum will be $298 on one exchange, and then it'll be $301 on one exchange. So they'll buy a bunch of it on this exchange and then sell it all on this exchange. And since they did such a high volume, they'll make however many hundreds or thousands of dollars just from that $3 difference, you know?
Yeah, I get it.
And Ethereum fluctuates like a 6-hour period from like $280 to $295, and it's just like, but it's not like a big
Jump.
It's not like from 200 to 300. It's like a small
like
jump
Bitcoin
fluctuating
where
back.
it just
And that's what I was telling them the other day. 'Cause
Skyrocketed.
I was looking at it and it was just like going like from minutes, just boom, 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 up, down, left, up, down.
Yeah, like people say Bitcoin is like super volatile because it's at such a high price. Like the margins between where it drops and goes up, it's like $400, $500 because it's such a high price.
Yeah,
And that's scary because that's a lot of money.
And then there's also other things that go into it as well.
if you're smart though, and you're like all about the long term, then that shit doesn't matter to me. I mean, it matters, but you just buy the dip, bro. Like I'll tell you a story, true story. When the hurricane happened at the beginning of the semester, I was gonna turn it into a vacation because we didn't have class for like a week and a half. I was gonna go to like Montreal or San Diego and like have a vacation, you know. So I cashed out a bunch of my Ether to get the money to do it, but it takes a few days to get it. So I actually didn't end up going on the trip. But like when I cashed out the Ether, it was like worth like $300. I think it might have been like $310. And then right after that, it crashed to like $200. And I bought back in at 200 after I had sold, after I cashed out a bunch at 300.
Dang.
So I was able to like get a bunch of cash off the top and still buy just as much Ether as I had in the first place.
Yeah, that
It was
goes.
fucking baller.
That's awesome. Yeah.